Welcome to Menopause Moguls podcast, the Elevation Talk series, with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. I am Dr. Joyelle, the Menopause Mogul, board certified OBGYN and business coach for Black women 40 and over. And my mission is to educate, embolden, and empower Black women and other women of color in their journey through health and careers. This is a space for Black women and other women of color to share their compelling trials and tribulations in their health and or in their careers and businesses. This is where we recognize the humanity of Black women and show how Black women continue to elevate despite midlife challenges and changes. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Menopause Moguls with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in for another episode. Happy to see y'all. Happy to have you all here. And those of you who are new to the podcast, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. So I just got back from a baseball tournament with my son. So those of you who have been listening to the podcast, y'all have heard me mention that I am a cheer mom. I'm also a baseball mom, y'all. And I do not like baseball. Okay. I did not like baseball before, but now I do because now my son is playing, of course, right? So we just got back from a weekend long baseball tournament. And I'm super proud of him. I'm so proud of my son. He just turned 9 actually on today. Today's his birthday as I'm recording this podcast. But I'm super proud of him. And it was just fun to see. I was along the bleachers in my little chair, screaming on with the other parents, cheering all the kids on. It was just great to see. But I thought about being a cheer mom, being a baseball mom, being a mom just in general, how it's so easy for us to get so engulfed in what our children are doing and taking care of our kids that we forget or ignore the things that we want to do, the things that we are being called to do, things that are going on within us, physically, mentally, emotionally. We ignore those things because we're trying to, do the best, be that quote unquote perfect mom, right? And I wanted to talk about in this episode how to avoid giving the cold shoulder, avoid giving menopause the cold shoulder in your business. And what inspired that is I actually went to one of my neighbors is a counselor at a school, and she was giving a wellness day for her teachers, and it was called Take Care Thursday. And she asked me to come hang out with them and speak to the teachers. Most of them are women, of course. So she wanted to, have me available to talk about women's wellness and things like that. And there was 2 of the teachers who came to me and talked about how they had frozen shoulder. I'm sorry, my phone is going off. Hold a second. Okay. 2 of them came to me complaining about them having frozen shoulder. And those of you who don't know what that is, basically frozen shoulder is when you can have it's an inflammatory condition in your shoulder joint that can cause pain and stiffness. And it can be an actual complaint for menopausal or perimenopausal women. Not very common in the United States, but it has been shown to be more common in Asian women. Like I said, when they came to me with that complaint, I have not actually experienced that. Is what all the other women that I've seen, whether it was a client, whether it was a patient, frozen shoulder really has not been a complaint that I have encountered. But it was interesting that these 2 women, these 2 teachers came to me and was complaining about frozen shoulder. When they're, basically having pain and stiffness in one of their shoulder joints. And I asked them, so what are you doing? What are you doing to help? And they're both like, no, nothing. I'm so busy. I haven't been able to really address it. Just wondering what I could do. I got so much to do. I have these lesson plans and the assessments and all these things. And I get home, I'm so tired. Yes, I have like a little gym at home, but I really don't go down there. I just ignore it, all the things. And that really made me think about how we as women can do that a lot, whether we are a mom or not. It's so easy for us to just ignore things, ignore our bodies, different symptoms that are happening within our bodies when we're so busy, whether it's with our children, with our own children, whether it's our children as a teacher, or just our job, or whatever, or even in our business. We can get so caught up in trying to do our best in our careers, in our business, in mothering, that we don't turn our attention or don't give the attention to what's going on within our bodies, within our minds. Um, and that can really keep us stuck. That can keep us overwhelmed. That can actually cause more stress within us and create more inflammation within our bodies. And I think a lot of us don't, because we don't see that, we just kind of keep going, right? We're just conditioned just to keep going and push through. And I want to in this episode, I want to encourage all of you that that's something that we have to be intentional of not doing, right? Giving the cold shoulder to menopause when we're going through things, because it's actually hurting us instead of helping us. And I was actually also thinking about one of my clients who was experiencing, hot flashes, irregular cycles, fatigue. Um, and she was more, working full time, but didn't really love her job, didn't see it as a forever job, and was thinking about building a business, but had no idea what that would look like. She was also busy with her kids, but she was having these symptoms and not really doing anything about them. She changed her diet, it was eating a little cleaner, but just in general wasn't really tapping into what she really needed to do. And when she worked with me and coaching her, I was able to give her that support that she needed to really tap into um, figuring out what her body was doing, what her body was reacting to, and how she can change her response to what her body was doing. And then ask herself those really important questions of what does she want and what does she need in this phase of life. And when she was able to do all of that and really being intentional about um, doing the things that poured into her and really kind of filled her what I call her jug of joy, she had more energy. She wasn't, her fatigue resolved, her symptoms were decreasing, and she was able to get more clarity of the business that she actually wanted to start. And she was more productive as far as, throughout her day, because there were days where she was so tired and she really, just didn't really feel like doing anything. But, when we were working together, I was able to help her. I talked about in previous episodes, unload things that no longer served her, so she can make room for herself and taking care of herself and pouring into herself, not ignoring her symptoms, not ignoring the things that she actually wanted, so that she can be more productive in now trying to build a business and taking care of herself and feeling better in overall well, right? So when we talk about frozen shoulder and how this is this condition that what they say that menopause is really technically not linked to frozen shoulder, but because the association is possible, because estrogen actually is can be protective of our bones and joints, definitely protective of our bones and also our joints. That's why some women can get joint pain and joint stiffness when they're going through the menopausal transition. So it is definitely something that we need to be intentional about. But when we talk about frozen shoulder, typically the treatment for that is, because it's an inflammatory condition, basically eating things that are anti-inflammatory, but also strengthening, exercising, stretching exercises, If it gets too bad, physical therapy may come into play as well as steroid injections. But I wanted to hone in on the importance of stretching and strengthening exercises, not typically for your shoulder, which I said, it is a treatment that we talk about for frozen shoulder, but when we are entering perimenopause or the menopausal transition, it is really important to have on board the ability to stretch and strengthen. And what I mean by that, when we are going into this phase of life, and there's so many different things that are going on within our bodies, and at the same time, we want to do more, in our career. We want to do more when it comes to building a business. We have to be able to stretch. We have to be able to stretch. And when you think about stretching just in general, like physical, we stretch so we won't injure ourselves, right? I try to stretch every day, stretch my body every day, but I also try to be intentional about stretching my mind. And that is really taking your mind to a place where it is scary, right? You stretch your mind into the things that you dream of doing, that you feeling called to do, but it's really scary. It really feels, and it is big, right? It's audacious. But we really have to be able to stretch our minds to that point so that we can continue to walk towards it instead of walking away from it or ignoring it, because we can not only avoid giving menopause a cold shoulder, we also have to avoid giving our dreams the cold shoulder, ignoring those dreams, right? We don't want to do that, because now we are robbing ourselves of not only walking in our purpose, but also robbing those people who are waiting for you. Whatever that base business that you're thinking about doing, or whatever that pivot you're thinking about doing, is most likely something that will serve someone else. So if you ignore that calling, if you ignore that urge, that nudge that you've been getting, you're robbing those people of that too. So being able to stretch yourself, stretch your mind to a place that will allow you to do that, as well as strengthen, right? Those strengthening exercises, and what I mean by that is strengthening the confidence, building that confidence muscle, right? Because that is a muscle that we have to work over and over and over again, especially in these midlife years, because we get to a point in these midlife years where, especially when our bodies are going through these physical, emotional, and mental changes, that we can have that self-doubt that creeps in, that makes us feel less confident, and makes us feel inadequate because we having these stupid hot flashes or we having this brain fog, right? So we have to be able to do the things that we need to do to strengthen our confidence muscles, so that we can again push through that fear, push through that fear of failure, and to do that big thing like build a business, do that big thing like pivoting your career, do that big thing like resign from a job that you've been at, for years and years, and do the things that you are being called to do. Do the things that you want to do. And that, you know, it definitely takes time. It takes something that we have to constantly work on. It does not, take you do it one time and then all of a sudden you're able to do it, automatically again. It's something that we have to work on over and over again. I know that personally. I have to work on that over and over again. We have to be able to, like I said, stretch ourselves outside of that comfort zone. And like I said, it is not easy. It is not something, it's uncomfortable, right? We're outside our comfort zone, but we're going into something we've never done before, or something that, where there's so much uncertainty. Um, but it's something that it is so necessary, right? And in order to do all that, we have to be in a place where we can have, a space of self-reflection, where we actually really just turning inward, being still with ourselves and figuring out what we need to do. But before that, what is keeping us stuck? What is keeping us frozen, like that frozen shoulder that's not allowing us to move, right, the way we want to? And that can be the self-doubt, that can be procrastination, that can be, perfectionism, that can be fear, like, all those things are that all of those can keep us stuck, keep us frozen, and, if we take the time to self-reflect and, again, not ignore what our body the changes that our body is going through and really tap into those changes, what is happening with those changes, why are those changes happening, and what does my body need as I'm going through these changes? What do I want as I'm going through these changes so that I can feel, confident, so that I can feel, enough to do all the things that I am being called to do? So, my question for you all is how many of you are just ignoring those menopausal symptoms, whether it's the hot flashes, the brain fog, whatever it is? How many of you are ignoring that? And how many of you are ignoring that nudge to start that business, to pivot in your career, do that thing that scares you? How many of you are just ignoring it? I know there's at least one of you out there, right? I have to say that I used to be that person, right? In what I um, mentioned my client before, I know there is at least one of you out there, right? And I just want to assure you that you, first of all, you're not alone. And I get it. I totally get where you are, where you're coming from. And again, especially as a mom, as I said in the beginning, it is so hard um, as a mom to think about what you want when you have these little people that you're raising, that you're pouring into, and put that on top of you have a spouse or you have your parents that you're taking care of or you're being a caregiver. You are, CEO um, in your workplace, like, you have all these responsibilities and you're taking care, other people and pouring into other people. It can be really, easy for just, ignore ourselves and just do what we know to do, instead of stretching out outside of our comfort zone and strengthen our confidence muscle to do the thing that we actually are being called to do and really walk in our purpose. And just thinking about that um, is one of the reasons why I created Menopause Moguls, my online group coaching program, to provide that space for women to really have the permission, give themselves permission to do the things that she wants. Um, After she has taken the time to pour into herself, unload those things that no longer serves her so that she can do those big scary things like build a business. And a lot of that is again, just breaking the ice with getting to know herself again in that midlife body, in that midlife mind, and again figuring out what she wants and what she needs. So for those of you, again, I mentioned in my last episode where I am tweaking my Menopause Moguls program, and I really want to niche down even further to speak to moms who are out there, high professional moms, 40 and over, who are being called to start a service-based business, but they are feeling overwhelmed, they are feeling stuck. They are ignoring their symptoms. They're ignoring the nudge to start the business because of all the other things that are going on in their lives, all the other responsibilities in their lives. I want to invite you to stretch yourself and to thinking about. doing something different, and tap into um, your higher self, right? Lean into your higher self and what she wants, what that woman that you are becoming, what she wants moving forward. And I want to invite you to uh, join me in Menopause Moguls. I am, like I said, working on um, a just kind of, like I said, a more specialized uh, component of Menopause Moguls where I'm really um, want to gather mommies who are being called to do so much more in their lives, but their midlife changes, challenges are keeping them stuck and overwhelmed. So if you are ready to do something different, or if you're ready to lean into your menopause experience instead of leaning away from it, I want to invite you to the next cohort of Menopause Moguls. If that resonates with you, I want you to either send me a DM on Instagram with the words "I want more," or you can subscribe to my website at drjoyelle.com. Subscribe to my email list to get more information about the next cohort that will be coming um, later on this fall. So if that speaks to you, like I said, send me a DM on Instagram or subscribe to my email list on drjoyelle.com. And like I said, I feel so strongly um, with helping moms. And in my previous cohorts, they have all been moms. So it's kind of worked out that way, but I never said like I specifically work with moms. So I am now, like I said, honing into even niching down more to speaking and coaching moms, because when we are thinking about the menopause transition, the menopause experience, and putting mothering into that, I think it just requires um, a lot of support, a lot of attention, and being a champion to women who really want to do more do more outside of what they're already doing. But when you have that long list of things to do as a mommy, it just feels it can feel and can look overwhelming. And what I have created in my menopause program is for that to not feel overwhelmed or um feel unattainable, because it is attainable for all of you. It is attainable for all of you out there who want to do that big scary thing, like build a business, a service-based business. There's so many nudges that you've gotten, but again, you just, feel like you can't. It doesn't feel possible because of all the other things as a mother, as a working mother, that it just doesn't feel like it's possible. So I am here to change all of that. As I've done for my other clients, like I said, who've all been moms, being able to get over that hump of the fear, hump of the not enoughness, the hump of self-doubt, the hump of the quote unquote, I'm just too busy, to get over all of that and really step in to your next best self so that you can build the business of your dreams and do all the things that you are being called to do and the things that you want to do in these midlife years without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling stuck, without feeling guilty about wanting what you want, right? Because guilt is another thing that can really, especially as a mom, can really keep us, in our little comfort zone. Because I don't want to, leave the kids out. I don't want to, take away time from my kids. Let me tell y'all, them kids will be fine. Them kids will be fine. All right. So that's what I have for you all today. I will, like I said, put all of that, my Instagram link in the show notes. And as always, sending love and light to you all. And until the next episode, I will talk to y'all later. All right, y'all. Take care.